They're going to kill Tyler Robinson. They have to. I'm sorry to break it to you like that. I don't know how to ease into it. They're going to have to. There's no way this can be allowed to go to trial. There's no way that the deep state or the police state or the intel state or the shadow government or the ruling class or whoever it is, there's no way that anybody can let this go. Because with the investigation, with the criminal defense comes depositions and who was where and how did you know this and who told you about this and who was involved in this as well. And how many people were there? And imagine if during the course of this, assuming, and I know no reason why not to assume this, that Tyler's defense counsel is and are competent, they're going to ask everybody for information. They're going to take the statements, either in official deposition form or discovery form, one way or the other. Erica, all of the TPUSA staff, and to find out what the FBI did, what did Kash Patel did. Why was the FBI there? Why were you pulling almost like a Parkland hospital? What's going on? Do you see the problem with this? When you start asking questions, and if this thing is televised, and that seems to be where it's headed, federal courts aren't testified, but state courts are. No, listen, I'm not trying to be this, say something dramatic. They can't let this go to trial. Do you have any idea of what happens if he were to take the stand? The father takes the stand. Anybody takes the stand to testify that he never confessed. He never confessed. Do you know, assuming that they mention, because I predict now, if there is a God and if there is any rational connection involved in this case, you will not see anything remotely involving a reference to, a mention of confessions and the rifle and the gun. Do you hear what I'm saying? It appears that there may be no confession at all. It appears that there may be either a motion to suppress the admission, whatever the admission is, or a motion in limine not to bring it up, because it may very well be that he never admitted to anything. He talked about wanting to turn himself in because he was afraid of, being dispatched by some overzealous policeman breaking in one day to serve a warrant. Maybe they said, look, for the best thing for you to do is to turn yourself in to be safe. But we'll get to that in a moment. Maybe jail, maybe prison is the most unsafe place you can imagine. But we'll get to that in a moment. What if there's no confession? Because everybody else, when you hear all of these people doing these forced apologetics, and you see them on all the cable TV, and they feel incumbent upon, you don't understand. He's just got to be found guilty. He's got to be found guilty. Why? Why must he be found guilty? What is your connection to him? Why? What do you want? Why must he be found guilty? Tell me. Tell me. Have you wondered that? Why is it so? Why do people have such a penchant or a penchant, a connection to this absolute immutable passion that they have for finding him guilty? Why? Why? Not the truth, not justice, guilty. What does it mean to you? What if he's not it? No, he's the one. But what if he's not? No, he's guilty, all right. But what if he's not? There's no way he's not. Don't say he's not. What's your deal? You mean to tell me out of all of those other people, I'll bet you that during the course of discovery, you could ask any of the detectives or anybody from the police departments or police agencies or law enforcement, did you get any nutcases calling up saying, I did it? They always do. Do you know how many people confess to the Lindbergh kidnapping and murder? Do you know how many? This was the death penalty for sure. People called up, and they do it all the time. You mean to tell me he's the only person? So you never followed up on anybody else? Why? So you had it in your mind that he was the guy, right? Right. Why? You mean to tell me somebody goes and walks into the police department and says, I did it? Don't you think that's a better confession? I mean, they came to you. As far as confessions goes, whenever somebody comes to a police and says it, that means something. That doesn't mean anything to you. That doesn't grab you. I don't follow. I don't follow. That's me. I'm wacky. I don't get it. You're going to find out. You're going to find out. Watch what happens. So, assuming arguendo, for the sake of argument, don't forget because innuendo is an Italian suppositor. Anyway, but don't forget that arguendo, assuming for the sake of argument that this is what happens. They're also going to later say there's no connection to that gun. There's no connection to that Mauser 98. It has nothing to do with this. It's not connected. It's not connected. Not that it's not linked. It's not connected. I keep saying this is a lint brush. It's not connected either. You're not going to bring up the lint brush because it's not connected. See, these are things which I can't say in any other way. I can't make any more clear to anyone. This is critical stuff. There is no connection. So you're not going to bring it up. You're not going to bring up a rifle with a scope that, by the way, is horrible. That is great if you're in the 30s. But anyway, you're not going to have this lethal-looking, deadly weapon brought up. You're not going to have it. You're not going to bring it up. Why? Because there's no connection. Oh, no. It's not that there's no connection. It's that the fragments aren't linked because there's no connection. Does this make any sense? Let me try this one more time. It's not the rifle. I'll go a step further. Whatever you found in him, it's not from the rifle. Because you can say whatever it is. That's like saying, I've done this home pregnancy test. And why I want to find out if somebody's pregnant. Home's pregnant, I have no idea. Anyway, but I did this home pregnancy test, and it says there's this line, this dash, which means not pregnant. Well, it's not that you're not pregnant. It's that the positive didn't show up on this device. You mean she's not pregnant? No, I'm not saying she's not pregnant. I'm saying that this didn't match with what we see when there's a positive pregnancy because she's not pregnant. No, I'm not saying that. You see where we're going with this? It's ridiculous. It's not semantics. It's something else. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's bizarre. It's bizarre. Why they don't recognize this? There's no such thing. If we don't make a fingerprint match, it's not that, well, the fingerprints didn't match. It's that, no, your fingerprints weren't on it. So I'm not going to go into court and talk about fingerprints that I found. Oh, and by the way, they just don't happen to match yours because they're not your fingerprints. Well, no. See, a lot of things can go wrong with the fingerprints. You know, sometimes they can be smudged or they cannot match. I've never seen, remember all the cable news shows? I think it's a one on Fox. Somebody who was a pretty esteemed person from the ATF says, no. See, sometimes, it's not uncommon, in essence, for there to be this lack of matching. It's not the gun. No, it's not. It doesn't. It's not the gun. I don't even know whether the gun was fired. I don't know when the last time it was fired. Did anybody check? Did anybody ever check to see whether there was a GSR, a gunshot residue test? They used to call it paraffin or nitrazine or all these tests. But in his cheek area here, or in his clothing, remember when you shoot, did he? What did he say? Somebody somewhere, somebody very nefarious, somebody very dark, someone very murderous, somebody very cold-blooded might say, listen to me. I know how to make this problem go away. I think you know what I'm talking about. You know, he's a little crazy, don't you? He looks crazy, doesn't he? Yeah. He's got that gay, fuzzy-headed girlfriend thing, whatever you call it. He's crazy. Crazy. His whole thing is crazy, right? Right? Everybody say yes, right? He's crazy. He's crazy. Looks depressed to me. Writing this nonsense. You know, he could very well one day say, you know what? It's just too much for me to take. Too much for me to take because I just don't know what to do. You see what I'm getting at? And no matter what happens, sometimes no matter how careful you are, there's somebody who, let's face it, when somebody's determined to do themselves harm, they can do it. And if there's one thing that we know we've done, we've conditioned the American people to understand that they will believe anything. Look what we did to Epstein in front of everyone. And they never said anything. Oh, they yelled at the two. They made fun of the jail employees. Oh, one fell asleep. One's an idiot. They never did anything. I thought there'd be a federal investigation, congressional. Nope, no, not with him. Best thing that ever happened. Because the American people are stupid. They're stupid. They don't ask anything. They don't know what to ask. They go online. They go online. That's what they do. They didn't say anything over the fact that there was evidence of the hyoid and thyroid cartilage fracture, which is homicide. Not self-harm, not suspension ligature and that. No. It was all there. Bill Barr looked him right in the face. Kash Patel. And Danny Bongina. He sat there right in front of you. And he said, oh, no, take it from me. Oh, no. Before they got into office, they were like, they were the foremost purveyors of the notion of the problems that are assigned and assessed and attendant to that which is the deep state or whatever it is. But all of a sudden, they changed their tune. Big time. And you know what the American public did? Nothing. Because they don't do anything. They believe anything. These people are so stupid. You keep talking about releasing files. What's with these files? And I think they're going to release the file? I don't know. Let's go online and find my favorite person screaming about the files. Look at the UFOs. Every week it's the same thing. You think we're going to release the files? I don't know. This one says that they're actually here. And what do you think? I don't know. Mr. President, would you? And we just go in circles. Nothing ever happens. Nothing. So somebody's saying, if one day you wake up and you find, did you have bad news? Yeah, what happened? Oh, God. Well, he did himself in. Who? Well, Tyler. Yeah, they found him in a cell. I guess there's too much pressure. Too much pressure. Well, how did it happen? Oh, I don't know. Bed sheets or shoestrings. I don't know. Shoelaces, something. Are you going to investigate this? No. Well, we'll get around to it. I'm sure we're going to get around to it. Well, somebody will put a statement out. Well, there goes the case. Sorry, all you conspiracy theorists out there. It's no more. We'll never know, will we? It's gone. Finished. Did he confess? I don't know. Anybody's guess now. It's moot. What about the gun? Moot. Was he involved in it? Moot. Was there anybody else? Moot. We're not talking about it. Everything ends. Mission accomplished. Nobody has to talk anymore about anything. Nobody cares. Well, do you think maybe the reason why they did it was what Charlie had said? Maybe. We'll never know. You see what happens? It's over. So here's what I'm saying. You better get that guy out of that place so fast. and put him in a very secure position. For example, it's been done before. On an Air Force base, you're going to need some kind of federal collusion, cooperation. Interesting Freudian slip. But you're going to need something. And they put him in a hospital. They put him in a place. Maybe it's not really a prison, but it's a hospital with a lock. Someplace that you can watch, where you can't get out. It's even easier. It's easier to watch a hospital room than to watch a prison, because you're just watching this one room. And then they have cameras in this room. And they have these thermosensitive cameras that detect drops in skin temperature, body temperature, as if anything happens. Or if he's starting to go, it'll go right away. You have everybody watch specifically everything he eats. Because there's something called, listen to me, noose on a bun. It's the old expression in prison, noose on a bun. So from the black magic, black arts of poisoning, kind of like a binary poison or toxin. Each one individually is benign in its own right, anodyne, harmless. But when you combine them, then we get a serious reaction. And what do we have as a result? What are the resultant residual chemicals found in the body? Potassium. See? Something, maybe elevated chlorine. Nothing. That's it. They've got so many ways. And nobody's going to do it. Nobody. He's just sitting there. And if you think they can do this to Epstein in a federal holding cell, you don't think they can do it to somebody in Utah, some little jail? I guarantee you, they go, well, what are you going to say? Utah. But we don't have cameras. We don't have guards. Well, we had cutbacks. They could say anything. And here's the best part. The American public says nothing. Oh, somebody might get upset. You'll see somebody might, Megyn Kelly may get upset, or I may get upset, or you may, whoever it is, whoever. Candace will go to the roof. Damn. Drat. That's exactly what will happen. Nothing. Nothing will happen. It is gone. All the investigations, all the inquiry, all the stuff that we wanted to know is gone. Problem solved. Tragedy averted. Disclosure unnecessary. The world, not from me, is put on notice. I'm not one. Sometimes people predict things in a weird way where they want it to happen. They want it. I do not want this to happen. I want there to be justice, because if the wrong person is convicted or the wrong person takes the fall, then the real person who's responsible for his death gets away. Do you hear what I'm saying? So remember, I've said this repeatedly. I'm just saying it more officially now, because the more, and as this thing picks up speed, oh my God, somebody's going to say, do something. I don't like where this is going. And all of a sudden you have, one day Drewski, he goes from making a joke about Erica to maybe making a joke about Tyler. And then you have people who start marching for him. And then they have a vigil. And then you have groups of people who say, wait a minute, free Tyler. And then you have individual accounts and individual YouTube or digital accounts, digital platforms, putting on demonstrations, almost like a Russell tribunals, a mini tribunal, that basically shows you why he's not. And you get somebody like an Oliver Stone type in there, and it's, remember, Oliver Stone blew the JFK case apart. He did. Oliver Stone did. Not the Zapruder or Warren Commission, no. But all that goes away. All of the risk goes away. All of the threats to uncovering the deep state go away if he goes away. Did you hear what I said? If he, Tyler Robinson, just goes away.